Live from Tampa Bay, you are tuned in to Happy Hour. Call Hoppy now, 856-49-HOPPY. Tweet at him at Ryan Hoppy Radio or chat him live via the Hoppy Radio app.
This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Happy Hour. You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where Happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
Yo, what's up? It's been a minute since I've had Hoppy TV loaded up because right now it's Happy Hour, and I am your host, Ryan Hoppy. And for the next hour, my goal in life is to make you think about things. For the next hour, I want my opinion to go into your brain, and then you go, wow, Hoppy was right about that. And then you go, I want to listen to Happy Hour again. And to get into contact with me, it's not hard. I swear to God, it's not rocket science. All you have to do is call me. So if you have a cell phone, because you're in 2016, my show now has a phone line. Call 856-49-HOPPY. That is 856-49-HOPPY. Or maybe you're a little bit shy and you don't want to go on air, but you want to have your opinion come to me in real time. It's not hard. Download the Hoppy Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop. Search up Hoppy Radio, and you can listen to all 150 interviews I've done since last year live, and you can chat me. And if you want to even get into contact with me as well, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppy Radio. And a quick reminder, help Happy Hour be back-to-back winner of Best Local Podcast by the Creative Loafing at Tampa Bay. All you have to do is go to tinyurl.com/happyhour2016. That's tinyurl.com/happyhour2016. Vote Happy Hour, best local podcast, best morning show, Mike Calta, best radio, 102.5 The Bone, best afternoon show, Drew Garabo. All those shenanigans. All right, that was a mouthful. It was really weird. So I was running the board overnight for 102.5 The Bone, and basically what I do is from 2 to 3 on Sunday mornings, I air the best of Mike Kelton. I make sure everything goes properly. You have a bit of a checklist. You make sure all the commercials play, and you just make sure everything goes right. If you need to fill in time, you put in PSAs. Basically, you're making sure everything goes right so people can listen to The Bone overnight. It's basically what any board op does. So from 2 to 3, I did the Mike Calta show, and then it was the best of Roger and JP on Sunday. And now when you're running the board, there's a lot of downtime. And it's weird because normally Twitter doesn't blow up. And I did this new thing this week, Sunday morning ass. Get it, like Sunday morning mass. My boss, Mike Olivero, came up with it. And it's like little 15-second videos of me saying, give me your take on this topic and let's talk on Twitter. So I was doing those videos and it was like, what do you think of Family Guy? Should it be canceled? My next topic was, what do you think of the swimmer that raped the girl? And then the news from Orlando came in. And I couldn't even fit it into a 15-second video. And I also was thinking, I don't even know how to cover news when it comes in live, when it comes in breaking. Like, I've been listening to The Bone all day, and they've been absolutely great at breaking it down. Calta, Roger and JP, Drew Garabo had some real raw, just real radio this afternoon. I mean, it was great. And it's like, I have to learn how to do that aspect of the show. Because I was talking to my boss, Mike Olivero, in the office, And I'm like saying to him, what do I need to do for the show? And he's like, well, I think you need to express your voice more. And I go, well, it's hard when there's not news in the day. Like, this is just for an example. And he goes, but the great hosts always find something to talk about. So at first, I was kind of nervous about talking about what happened in Orlando. But I'm like, I'll be me and do it the way I approach it and how I viewed it, because this is a memory I'm going to always have. No one's going to ever be able to take it away from me. I might not be on the level of, let's say, Mike Calta or Drew Garabo, where I could talk about it for 5 hours and be marvelous. But basically, this is what happened for me. I keep checking Twitter, and it keeps on getting worse by the morning. You see shooting going on in Orlando, and you're like, you immediately get that weird vibe. You're like, something's up. The girl from The Voice died 24 hours earlier, and now this happens, and I immediately had the weird vibe. People on Twitter, because it broke around 2 a.m., and I was at the bone till noon because I answered phones for Miggs and Swig, and I will get to that in a minute. And it just kept on getting worse and worse, and I'm going, this is a terrorist attack. Even at 4 a.m., when the news was just coming in, there was something about it that hit my gut. Just the idea that it happened on Friday in Orlando, it wasn't a coincidence. And then I answer phones for Miggs and Swig around the time that the commissioner in Orlando came out, and they had that press conference. And it was all over every news channel. Bay News 9 had it on in the bone. And the commissioner saying that 50 people died. And once Twitter blew up and everyone's saying that's the record for the worst mass shooting ever in America, that's when my heart sank. Because then first I took a call from a guy named Robert who lost his brother Michael in Orlando that night. And it was so heartbreaking. It was just, it's really hard to break down that you lost a loved one. But here's the thing. Right now, we care. Right now, we are so sad over it. Right now, we're just in awe. We're in shock. We don't know what's going on. But this is my take that I'm going to bring to Happy Hour. I'm not going to be able to break it down for 5 hours and give you analysis. But I will say this. We need to keep this attitude going. We need to make sure that us Americans come together at this time. When that bombing happened at that concert in France, the whole country came together with love. When there was that mass shooting down under, I think it was in Sydney, they then banned guns. I'm not saying we need to ban guns, but we need to do something. And it's been a lot better over there. Canada seems like they have it together. And I'm not going to sit here and blame America, but it just kind of seems like the first thing we do, God damn it, Trump, God damn it, Clinton, God damn it, Obama, we immediately go to social media and we get filled with hatred. We immediately go to social media and we are the social warriors. We immediately go to social media and we know how to fix the problem. I couldn't believe my eyes. People are immediately blaming Obama 6 hours after it happened. It's like, my God, the innocent bodies, the 50 innocent lives that were taken away in Orlando, they're now dead forever. And second of all, they're not even cold yet at that point. The bodies were warm. And we're already blaming politics. It doesn't mean that much at the end of the day. Every time somebody gets elected, we go, oh, we're doomed. Oh, we're screwed. You know what? If Trump gets elected, whatever. If Clinton gets elected, whatever. We need to put this whole election to the side. We need to put politics to the side for a second. And we need to come together as a country. Because right now we are split 50% Republican, 50% Democrat. And there's just this angle and this vibe of hatred and anger and annoyance. And we need to appreciate every living second we have. We can't begin blaming politics yet. We don't know what it's like to be Obama. Yeah, Obama's a little bit too politically correct when he doesn't call out ISIS enough, and he calls them ISIL, and he says their name. But he's trying. You know what we need to do? We need to quit immediately blaming it on Obama. We need to quit going on social media. We need to kind of take a break and give the person we know a hug or just say hi to people. Like today at the office, I tried to shake more people's hands and be more outgoing. We need to appreciate every single second we have. We need to come together as a country and put politics aside. I despise Trump. I will keep calling him out for his BS online, but I'm going to quit judging people when I find out that they like Trump. And I'm going to quit judging people if I find out that they like Clinton or if they like Kim Kardashian. We need to live this short life in the most positive way possible. And sometimes I feel like the approach I talk about when it comes to death and how short this life is kind of comes off like a 55-year-old that's life kind of passed them by. And sometimes I feel like my social media posts are kind of depressing. But I'm just being real with you. It just seems like we waste our time going on social media and acting like we know everything. We waste our time just getting mad. And it's like, I've sort of seen how quickly the lights turn off in this lifetime. 1 hour, I was at the gym swimming, experiencing life. The next hour, the eve of Thanksgiving, I find my dad dead on his bed. I'm not making this about me, but that told me and that showed me how short this life is. And we need to spend each and every second being loving to each other, being nice to each other. And I'm going to do that same approach. I'm going to work on it. I'm not promising you that I'll quit ranting online, but I'm going to quit being negative. I'm going to quit responding to the haters from Cleveland. I'm going to quit getting mad over the Kardashians. We need to be positive. This is the perfect time for America to step up. This is the perfect time for us to come together as a country. But you know how we do that? We need to do it over and over again. We can't have this fake attitude where we go, okay, let's give some blood. Okay, let's do this and that. And then we move on in 2 weeks and talk about Kim Kardashian's fat ass and the latest crazy thing that Trump said. We need to do this each and every day. Because I was talking to my neighbor about this. Come Christmas, they're going to have the recap of the year. I promise you, if we don't change, here's what's going to happen. The news is going to be like, David died, Prince died. There was that large mass shooting at the nightclub in Orlando. Whoever wins as president, they'll announce. They're not going to make that big of a deal about it because we move on after a while. I mean, there are shootings that happen all the time. Innocent lives die in cities like Chicago, Baltimore, and Milwaukee. So we need to take this Orlando shooting and realize we need to come together and be as actively positive as possible. We can't do it for 1 week or two. We need to do it over and over again if we want to fix the problem. Because we can do it. Other countries have. I mean, if you look at Sydney, they're a very happy city. If we do that and we do it over and over again, the problem can be fixed. But if we keep on saying, yeah, pray for Orlando, hashtag pray for Orlando, but then we move on in 2 weeks, nothing's going to ever change and something will happen again. I mean, what does it take for our country to come together? 3 years ago, kids died by Adam Lanza at Sandy Hook in Pennsylvania. That was sad. But now when you bring it up, you go, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. What about Columbine? Just because it was 18 years ago, it doesn't mean that those innocent lives that would have been 36 now aren't ever coming back. They're dead forever. We need to take each and every example and treat it equally. Even someone that died in South St. Pete last night, we need to treat it as much as this Orlando shooting. We need to come together as a country if we ever want to fix the problem. Because if we don't, it's going to keep happening again. Because if we don't, then we can't ever blame ourselves for the problems we have. I'm not sitting here and saying I have a solution. I'm not sitting here and saying I know what to do. But I feel like if we are nicer to each other and we share the love and we appreciate life, it's a move in the right direction. Because if we just pretend we care and we just move on. Nothing will ever change.
Next on Happy Hour.
You hear this wacky music? That means that Happy Hour will be right back. And up next, the dad of the swimmer that raped that girl, he is having a legal defense team even help out his kid. After his kid got away with rape, essentially, and is getting 3 months in jail, this dad won't go away. So I will talk about that. Call me, 856-49-HOPPY. That's 856-49-HOPPY. Tweet at me, @RyanHoppyRadio, and listen live via the app. I will be right back on Happy Hour after this. Up next is If Rap Don't Work by the LEP Bogus Boys. Hang on.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour. It's time to turn Hoppy on. It's time to turn Hoppy on. It's time to turn Hoppy on. Shut up!
All right, welcome back to Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy. I want to get into this swimmer's dad that made a legal fund for his kid to help support him once he gets out of prison. But first, I want to remind you to tweet at me, @RyanHoppyRadio, so I see your tweets in real time. Also, call the show, 856-49-HOPPY. That is 856-49-HOPPY. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching the show via Hoppy TV. If you go to my Periscope, I appreciate it. All right, I want to get into this. I find it very bizarre that the dad of this swimmer, Brock Turner, isn't just giving up and isn't just realizing that his kid got off easy and that he's a loser as a person in this lifetime, that he is a failure. And I know in my last rant, I said I wasn't going to be mean, but when you're the father of a rapist and you're defending that kid and you won't go away, you are a loser and you are a failure. It doesn't matter how much money you make in this lifetime or how handsome you are. Your son raped a woman and then bragged about it via social media and then left her behind a garbage can, whatever. You would think you would be embarrassed and you would hide your face for a while, kind of like the dad of the dude who went into the Orlando nightclub and shut up those 50 people. Yeah, he's kind of hiding his face. But this dad of Brock Turner has this ego where he can't be wrong. He has this arrogance and this pride where he just won't shut the F up. And I don't get it, man. Your kid was so horny, was such an imbecile, was such an evil person that he took advantage of a girl of 20 minutes of action, according to you, because that's what matters in life, is getting your rocks off. I used to feel that way too. Not that I wanted to rape a woman, but I was like, I need to get laid. I need to get laid. I need to get laid. And then I got catfished because I was ignorant by a radio show in Cleveland I worked for. They catfished me, and that was kind of my lesson that sex isn't everything. To me, this Brock Turner punk, this little bitch, was so horny. He just kind of has the vibe when you look at his pics that he's kind of an awkward guy. He's cool enough to be in a frat. He's talented to be a swimmer, but there's something off about him. And just because he's a pretty little boy and he's so handsome and adorable and his little puppy eyes when he's in court, poor me. Screw you, buddy boy. You're an imbecile. You're a loser. You don't know how you look yourself in a mirror. And I'm happy that the U.S. swimming team banned him. I'm happy that Joe Biden came to the plate and swung a grand slam and wrote a letter in defense of that poor innocent woman. Can you imagine being raped for 20 minutes? Because you don't know how long the rape's going to go on. I bet that 20 minutes felt like an hour. Even though she's unconscious, she remembers that somehow a penis was inserted into her vagina without her will. And we don't even know what he did to her. Whatever. I don't get the outrage, and I don't get how that judge, that little cretin, looks himself in a mirror. I get when you're rich, you have a good legal defense team that gets you off. happens over and over. But at some time, we need to set a precedent that just because you're rich and you're good looking, the fact that you have this entitlement doesn't mean you can get away with crimes. We need to begin setting a precedent in life. It's ridiculous. It says here via CBSNews.com, Brock Turner's dad has begun a legal defense fund. What's there to defend against, bro? Like, what point are you proving? Your kid got away so easily. 3 to 6 months in jail for a crime that a lot of dudes spend 12 years in, and then you find out, oh, yeah, they didn't do it. Your kid got off easy. Your kid's not going to lose his young years of being in his 20s. He'll be fine. Oh, poor him. He won't have his prime rib, and he won't be able to go out and rape girls for 3 months. Oh, poor him. He's going to have to learn a lesson. How about you step up to the plate, and you become a respectable human being, and you say, I failed as a father. I'm a loser. I'm a cretin. And I'm going to ignore my son for 3 months and have this be his lesson. But no, your entitlement, how you treat him like the pretty boy that he is, he's never going to change as a person. Just because he's pretty doesn't mean he's not sick in the head. To take advantage of a woman for 20 minutes, there's something wrong with you. If Brock Turner looked like me, I'm sorry, they would have given me more time in jail because I'm tall, lanky, and awkward. But because he's ripped, just 3 months. And we wonder why the problem keeps on happening. And this is out of Oakwood, Ohio. The father of ex-swimmer Brock Turner, who was convicted of sexual assault of an unconscious woman. Yes, she was unconscious. Whatever, 3 months. Has made a legal support fund. How about the support of the girl whose life is potentially ruined and all the therapy and all the sessions she'll have to go to, but whatever, your poor kid. With a local credit union to support his son's defense, CBS WHIO in Dayton reported, Brock Turner is serving a 6-month sentence for 3 counts of sexual assault, but can be released as soon as 3 months. He faced a maximum of 14 years. Your kid literally is spending 1/14 probably of how much he should have spent in jail. Your kid got off so easily. He's spending less than 10% of how long he should have been in jail. Shut the F up. God. In May, a woman who described herself as a lifelong friend, mother, and person who has watched this family grow began a Facebook page, said Turner Family Support Fund on behalf of the parents, Dan and Cohen. You made a support group because you've watched this whole thing grow. You've watched this whole family grow. What does that mean exactly? That you've watched the family grow. Did they used to be good people? Did they used to go to church all the time and now they're imbeciles that don't care that their son raped an innocent woman for 20 minutes? Did you watch them grow from being people who would go to the poor neighborhoods of towns and, help out the homeless and do good deeds or help out kids with cancer? What do you mean by saying, did you see them grow? Did they go from being great humans to awful humans that don't care about rape? In what way have you seen them grow? Have they grown into egomaniacs that can't admit that they're wrong? What are you proving with this Facebook page? I get that you're embarrassed and that your kid's name will always be online and that his life is screwed forever. But at some point, just shut the hell up and go away. This face of his is so annoying. Everything about him, just go away, dude. You got off easy. Do you want 3 weeks in jail? 3 minutes? You're not going to get that. Just take the 3 months and shut the hell up. What point are you proving? You're just ruining your chance of a good job later in the future. I hope to God any employer this dude wants to work for doesn't give it to him. I hope he's not able to work at a grocery shop or even flip a burger. I wouldn't want this dude on my team. He's a effing creep. Almost swore. Oh, my God. The page has been taken down. Why? If you are so confident in this family growing, if you are so confident in what they're doing, why would you take the page down? Why don't you be thick-skinned and you prove the point you're trying to prove by keeping the page up and not caring what other people think? But you're an entitled, self-conscious pussy that realized that it wasn't a good idea to put it up, so you hid in the corner like a rat. And you went, oh no, I can't handle the criticism. Oh no. And you got rid of the page. Like the liar and the failure and the loser that all you people are. Like the cretins that you all are. You have the guts to make the page when no one knows about it. But once people found out, then you hid in the corner because you're like, oh no, people are going to criticize us. That's the problem with this whole issue. They are so self-conscious and they are so ego-driven that they can't look negative. Their kid almost made the U.S. swimming team, and they can't handle the fact that he's never going to make it. And he has no backup plan because he's one of those dumb jocks that just cares about sports and getting laid. And he has no backup plan because he has no personality and no one likes him. They just can't admit that they're wrong, and until that happens, they won't ever go away. And I just want the media to quit talking about them. And I know you're going to say, but Hoppy, you're talking about them because it's in the news, and I want to express my disgust for them. Ugh. It said the page was made to help ease the financial burden that this situation has caused. I'm pretty sure that the Turner family is going to be okay. When you look at them, the mom's good looking, the dad's handsome, even Brock's not a bad looking kid. Usually that means you have a lot of money. And the fact that he was serving 14 years in jail, he was going to, but got 3 months, I'm pretty sure you paid a lot of money for the lawyer and you have a lot of money. Maybe you are co-CEO of a company or you're a boss. They do something that brings in money. So I don't think they're suffering for the cash. Now, I would never, ever rape a woman, ever. But let's say somebody that makes as much money as me were to cry out and say, oh, I need a financial fund to get some money. Then it would make sense because I would have no money after all the lawyer fees I'm paying. It's just an example. It would make more sense for someone that makes as much money as me to make it. I'm not saying it's right, but at least you go, they're a loser. They have no way to make money. They're living off this fame. But for Brock Turner's family to even have the idea to come up with a legal fund, it's just putting them in the public eye even more. Shut the hell up, you losers. Oh, my God. Here's what a supporter wrote. Because you know on these GoFundMes and all these pages, you can write a little comment. Like for Soul Brother Kevin from Drew Garabo Live that needs a new liver. I wrote how he's one of the classiest guys I know. I love the guy. He's helped me out a lot. That's what you usually write for people that need the money. Guess what someone wrote that sent a donation for the money? Guess what they wrote? I don't even know if you're ready. It says here, Turner's parents are dealing with a monumental, life-changing, and tragic situation with Brock. What is so tragic about it? Explain to me. It's tragic for the girl that got raped for 20 minutes, got thrown behind a garbage can, and then Brock bragged about it to his friend. I banged her, dude. That's tragic. The fact that you're going to go to jail for just 3 months is pretty tragic. But the financial situation that you might be in or the embarrassment that you are suffering right now isn't really tragic, dude. Shut up. Here's what else the post said. Their expenses continue to mount. They are running out of money. Exactly. You paid so much money for your kid to get away with rape, essentially. Of course you're not going to have as much money. Oh, poor you. You should have known that going in when you literally paid your kid out of a rape case. Whatever. As a mother and friend, this is what it says in the post. I'm going back to it. As a mother and friend, I would do anything to help my kid and save him. There are kids out there that can't afford the hospital bills because they have cancer. There are people out there that can't afford rent because they work 2 jobs and they're not making enough money. I'm not saying a guy like that who is working 2 jobs and can't make enough money deserves a GoFundMe, but it makes more sense to even have the audacity to say, I would do anything to help my kid and save him, like Brock. If you really want to help Brock, put him into a mental hospital, put him somewhere where he can get psychiatric treatment, and he can improve as a person. But by doing this entitlement, you're just feeding his ego more. You're just making him more sick in the head. He's going to be a danger to the community. This is going to end up being a George Zimmerman of rape. He's literally going to become this celebrity. There's probably going to be people that are huge swimming fans. They're going to want his autograph at some type of a convention. Trust me, Brock Turner isn't going away. And that makes me sick. They also wrote in this long Facebook post, I know that while we're not experiencing what they are feeling, as in Brock Turner, my heart and faith goes out to them, and I want to help them, and I want to support them. This is something out of like The Onion or an SNL article. This is laughable. How about the fact that you want to help out the support and the feeling of the poor, innocent girl that was taken advantage of and drugged because this dude wanted to have sex with her and he couldn't get her. He wasn't cool enough to get with her legally with consent, so he had to rape her. How about the fact that for 20 minutes she didn't know what was going to go on with her life? How about the fact that the whole life now, until she dies, until she goes into the ground, sex is going to always be weird for her? How about the fact that enough people probably know who she is, so there's going to be this embarrassment where people won't know how to approach her? How about the fact that the parents are horrified to probably have their kid, this innocent daughter, go out into the public? That's the people that need support, not this rich punk-ass bitch who raped an innocent girl. He needs no support. He means nothing. And it was supposedly made through the Right Pat Credit Union. Can you imagine being the person that works for them? And maybe you're against it, but you have to make that legal fund. Or maybe you were brainwashed and you were cool with it. The supporter behind the Facebook group denied a request for a comment. Oh, but you were so edgy and you were so outspoken to make a GoFundMe for him. What are you hiding against? Prove your point. Try to explain to us why Brock Turner and his family needs the support. But you know that you're wrong. You know that you're a creep. You know that you're weird. You know that you don't know what to say, because if you were to talk to a reporter, they would out-talk you because you're probably not very smart if you're making them a Facebook page. So, of course, you would crumble under the moment and deny a request to comment because you're an uncreative and you're just not a good person. You're an uncreative, creepy bitch. You're a loser if you're making this page for him. Ridiculous. It says here, in a message that has since gone viral, the victim in the case calls on Brock Turner to take responsibility for his action. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I don't mean to break your heart, but if he's making legal funds and if he's crying that he can't have caviar every night, nothing's going to change. You know what this victim should do? I don't know if she wants to go public with it, but what would be really cool is if she becomes a speech person where she goes to different schools and she speaks about what happened to her. Not saying she needs to do that because we don't know what it's like to get raped. I don't. But it'd be really cool if she spoke up against him. That would be a way to prove this person wrong. But you're never going to ever have this dude, Brock, ever say he's sorry. So if she wants to change something, it'd be cool if she did it. More people need to speak out. Something needs to happen because we're letting this dude just run over us. It's ridiculous, just the support that he's getting from people. Because he has enough support because he's not going away. So obviously he's doing something right. It's just sickening. And I guess the last thing before I end this show is just the fact that if I were the judge that gave him this treatment, and if I were the judge who was a little bitch who then crumbled under the pressure or was cool with giving him 3 months. How do you look yourself in the mirror when you go home in your nice Porsche, you go home to your nice house, and you go to bed every night and you brush your teeth and you take your shower and you're drying your hair in the mirror? How do you look yourself in the mirror and you go, I helped the creepy rapist get off easy? But if he looked any different, maybe if he was African American or awkward or weird, I would have given him more time. But because the lawyer did so much work and they put in so much money for him to get away with it, I basically set a precedent that rich people can do whatever they want. If I were that judge, I would not be able to sleep at night. But the problem is the judge is as sick in the head as Brock Turner is. Oh, my God. It is sad. I just don't know how you look yourself in the mirror. You know what I mean? Call the show before I end it. 856-49-HOPPY. That is 856-49-HOPPY. All right. It's time to end the show because up next, I will record it on demand. But Greg Gorey from The Woody Show on All 98.7 in Los Angeles will be on the show. But first,
Happy Hour is about to end. But first, it's time for Last Call.
All right, Happy Hour is about to end. But first, go to my website, RyanHoppyRadio.com. It's a work in progress, but there you can see everything I'm up to. Give me some ideas, critiques on what you want me to do with the website. By doing that, all you have to do is email me, RyanHoppyRadio@gmail.com. Maybe you want to be a sponsor or you want to collaborate. You want to give me some criticism. You want to send me some love. You want to send me some nudes, you hot ladies. But here's my point. Seriously, email me, RyanHoppyRadio@gmail.com. Also, my Twitter handle is RyanHoppyRadio. If you want to see my rants and my musings during the day, and you also want to see all the guests and everything going on with Happy Hour, it's at RyanHoppyRadio. Snapchat me, at Happy Radio. And the most important plug are these two plugs. Go to the app shop, in the Google Play and iPhone shop. Search up Hoppy Radio, HOPPE Radio, and you can listen to my show anywhere in the world. And when I do this show live, you can listen live as well, and you can chat me live. I really want to get that going because you can be in any city and you can listen to Happy Hour. You can be in Cleveland, Ohio, or Louisville, or Huntington, West Virginia, the various markets that the previous show I worked on lived in. If you want to listen to my show, you can listen via the app. Or if you're in Tampa Bay, spread the word. And you can also spread the word of helping Happy Hour win as best local podcast by the Creative Loafing again. Go to tinyurl.com/happyhour2016. It's tinyurl.com/happyhour2016. I would love to win again, but if I don't, it's all good in the neighborhood. But it meant so much when I won. And every time I do this show, I do it to entertain the audience. And I do it because I love what I do. I love my life. And I have so much fun doing Happy Hour and being on the radio on the various shows. I'm just really happy with where things are at. Things have been great the last 13 months here in Tampa Bay. And I'm in full mode. I am going 120 miles down the highway when it comes to how I'm approaching radio. I'm going to keep on hustling. I'm going to keep on going. I'm in go mode right now. I got plenty of ideas for Happy Hour, and I appreciate all the support. All right. Let's appreciate life. Let's enjoy it for how long we're here. Let's not rape people and take advantage of them. Let's not go into nightclubs and shoot people just because of their orientation. Let's just have fun. Let's go up to people, shake their hand, be nice, because it's a fun thing to do. That's the message I will leave you with. This has been Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy.
Happy Hour.